If you've been diagnosed with a cancer around Christmas, or you're having chemotherapy, or you're struggling, it can be really hard to cope. And I thought I'd come on and talk about how I got through Christmas the first time I was diagnosed with cancer, because it's really, really hard. And there may be lessons that I've learned that can help you if you are struggling, if you are in a place that I was, because I'm filming this now. Where are we? It is the 9th of December and things are starting to ramp up. And even now I find it really hard to get into the festive spirit. But let me take you back to what happened to me. So I was diagnosed in July 2015. I had a stage 3 breast cancer and I had chemotherapy first. I had a big tumour and the plan was to shrink it down and then have surgery. And my final scan before my surgery at the end of chemo showed my cancer had completely disappeared. It's like, yes, this is the best result possible. Thank you very much. And so I had a mastectomy, I had an implant reconstruction, I had a sentinel node biopsy where we remove a couple of lymph nodes to see if there are cancer cells in them, even though they look normal on the scan. And I went to get the results and it was the 23rd of December. And I remember walking into that clinic room and I was expecting good news and I dressed up. I tried to draw on eyeliner and eyebrows because I lost the hair. I lost my facial hair. I put on a hat and I dressed up smartly. And I remember being in that waiting room, surrounded by other couples who were just looking at the floor, holding each other's hands, ready to get bad news. And I thought, God, those poor souls. It's 2 days before Christmas. Thank God I never have to be in their shoes again. And I went in. And my surgeon told me that there were 13 centimetres of cancer still in my breast. And 2 of my lymph nodes were positive. And I just wanted to run. I wanted to run out of that room, screaming and swearing and shouting. My cancer was completely occult. It wasn't seen on the MRI or the ultrasound or the mammogram. And it had spread to my lymph nodes during chemo. And I knew how bad that was, how my prognosis might be bad. And I just thought, fuck it. This isn't fair. I'm now less likely to make it to 10 years. And I've got to have another operation. I've got to have the rest of my lymph nodes removed. And it's 2 days before Christmas. Fuck Christmas. It can just go and do one. And we were meant to be spending Christmas with my husband's family in London. And there's a lot of them. Children and grandchildren and nieces and nephews, like a house full. And it's the last thing I wanted to do. I don't care about Christmas. I don't want to be happy. I don't want to see anyone. It's not fair. And I remember even in the weeks before, in December, building up to my surgery, I thought, I don't care about Christmas. I don't see the point in sending cards and giving presents because I might not be here. I've had cancer. I do not want to be happy. I do not want to be merry. And the real kicker was that chemo meant that I was infertile. I could never have children. And suddenly finding out that I was going to be infertile made me realise that I really, really did want kids. And I could never have them. And Christmas is a time for families and children, and you see them all playing, and there's the elf on the shelf and the babies being dressed up in cute outfits and all the presents for the kids, and I'm like, I can't have them. I don't want to see them being shoved in my face on adverts and in shops. I don't want to see it. I don't want to be reminded of what I can't have. I'm jealous of those who have kids who they can play with. It was a complete and utter mindfuck. And I remember wallowing, and it was my mum who helped, and she said, no, it wasn't my mum. I was having therapy. I was having therapy through the Macmillan Centre to help me cope. And this lovely, lovely lady said, look, it's not about you. They've been living with your cancer diagnosis for 6 months and they'll be as gutted as you are, but this is a day for them. Don't ruin it. Get through it. Fake it until you make it. And you might enjoy it more than you think, but this is not about you. Christmas is a time for bringing joy to other people. And that humbled me. And I didn't like her saying it. I still thought, fuck them. But she was right. And so I did the cards and I did the presents and we went. And to give me something to focus on, I remember I thought I'm going to knit Hunter, my Cocker Spaniel puppy, who should be here, but he's not, he's inside. I knitted him a Santa jumper, and it took me about 24 hours, and I was just knitting all night. And just by knitting, I didn't really need to talk to anyone. I didn't really need to focus on joining in. I was in the room where stuff was happening. God, that's a Hamilton quote. But it gave me something to do. And I told my husband that at some point I may just need a wobble, and I went outside for a walk, and his sister came and walked with me just in silence. I just needed some time to be miserable and sad and sorry for myself before going back. But it was one of the hardest things I've had to do. And, you know, you're bald. Everything still tastes disgusting. You feel you look a bit odd. Your boobs a bit sore. You don't want to join in. You feel you stick out like a sore thumb. But in hindsight, I can see how incredible all my husband's family were for not taking me in, but for making me feel normal. Cancer wasn't the topic of Christmas. It was just Christmas. And I think that time and I've got friends going through chemo now, and people who are newly diagnosed, and people who've just found out they've got Mets. It is an awful time of the year, and there is no easy way to get through it. We don't all enjoy our families or enjoy spending time with the people we're meant to. It can be a stressful time of the year anyway, and I think you have to find a way to get through it. You just have to find a way that's right for you. But remember, it's not all about you. And if you have things that you can't get out of, parties, lunches, things you have to do, you fake it until you make it. It's just a day. You can get through a day, and you can vent and moan and rant to people online later. But actually seeing the kids open the presents I'd begrudgingly found the energy to buy was lovely. And you remember it's really nice to give people things, and they'd given me stuff, and it was just, it's nice to remember that there is life outside of cancer, and you can see the bigger picture. But over the last couple of years, I still find it really hard, especially now Mum and Dad have died. It's like the Christmas by myself, and it's not by myself. I've got my brother and my husband and his family, but I don't have my mum, and I don't have a child to do stuff with. I've not got anyone to make gingerbread houses with, or paper chains, the things we used to do. And I think that grief, that loss, we lose so much when you are diagnosed with cancer. And it's not just us, it's our loved ones. My husband found it really hard because it was all about me, and he just wants to have his normal life, but he's the husband of the woman going through cancer, and when does he get his support? It affects everybody in so many ways, and we are get so isolated. I think I've learned, I fast forward all the adverts. I try to avoid town and do all my online shopping, because seeing happy kids and families just makes me feel really sad for the children I can't have. And it's things like this which will always stir that grief up when it's all about the children. And I think maybe it's a time to develop a new tradition. My husband Dermot and I don't really have anything that we do for Christmas. There were some things that my family used to do, and some things his family do, but we haven't got our own. And maybe that's because we don't have children. It's just the two of us, and we generally go around the various families spending Christmas with other people. But maybe you could invent a new tradition, a new thing that you do with the people you love, or by yourself if you're alone, to celebrate you and say, I'm going to do this for me today. I'm going to give myself something today. I would love just to have a bacon sandwich on Christmas Day in my pyjamas and a glass of bubbly. I think that would be perfect. No cooking. Thank you very much. Then take the dog for a nice muddy walk and go for a swim in a freezing cold sea. But that's not going to happen. But I think recognising it's tough, and maybe having conversations a couple of weeks before with people to say, this is going to be really hard for me. And I don't want it to be a focus of the day, but I need some time out. Maybe a secret code word. If I just start talking about, God, I can't think of it, bumblebees, that means I'm having a wobble. I need to go to the loo or just sit for half an hour and I'll be fine. But you need that space. And I think planning what you're going to do when those emotions hit you can really, really help. It's just such a hard time of the year. And I think it's at celebrations like this. I mean, it might not be Christmas if you're other religions, whatever you all come together and celebrate, whatever that is. I should have said that at the beginning. I feel really bad. You just need to find a way to get through it, to protect yourself while still being there for other people, because those relationships are important and people do need you. And remember, if you are, no, I don't know what happens now. Sarah Millican, the comedian, used to do on Twitter or X, if you're lonely on Christmas Day, come to me. And she would just tweet and reply and answer everybody who is home alone with no one to talk to. There are places you can go to. There are online organisations. There are always things like the Samaritans. You can find people if you want that. You may just want to sit in your pyjamas and drink tea and eat biscuits and watch horror movies. And that could be your idea of your perfect Christmas. I don't know. But it's okay if you're not looking forward to it, and you're angry and you're frightened and you're scared and you're miserable and you don't want to think about your children. Could this be your children's last Christmas that you have with them because you don't know what's going to happen? All these things go through your head. How are you meant to cope? No one told me how hard this was going to be when I was diagnosed. I remember feeling so sorry for all the women that I would diagnose just before Christmas. You think, God, that's an awful Christmas present. What an awful thing to have. But I remember, this is funny, I was doing bowel surgery and this gentleman had just been diagnosed with bowel cancer. He was in his early 60s and he wanted to have his operation on Christmas Eve. Now, we normally don't do big operations around that time because there's a bank holiday and the staff isn't quite there just in case something happens. But he said, no, I want it done. So I have to spend Christmas alone in hospital, away from my annoying family. This is my idea of peace. And we all kept a really close eye on him and we kind of had our own Christmas with him in the hospital. And it was great fun. And for him, that was his idea of, perfect. I don't need to worry about it anymore. There's other people bring me food, no washing up, don't need to worry about what to wear. Though there are better places to be for Christmas. But I think it's planning. And I don't know if this has helped you at all or it's just me ranting about how hard Christmas can be. And I'd love to know what you think or what your plans are to get through Christmas. Maybe we can get a list of caring things or suggestions or traditions that we can all read to help each other. And this is probably a really silly video to put out on YouTube because it's only relevant for about a month of the year, but I just felt I have to talk about this. It's a big issue and it's a big deal, and I think we need to acknowledge that. And we need to look after ourselves. So for all of you watching, whether you've got cancer or you're affected by cancer, I will be thinking of you. It's just 24 hours. And there are 364 or 5 other days in the year. But you can do something lovely for you if Christmas isn't that day. Thank you so much for watching. And remember to subscribe to my channel because I'll be blogging a lot more regularly, trying to do one a week, just talking about my life and things that have come to me. I'm going to be talking about how do you cope with scanxiety, how did I cope with scanxiety, and how do you learn to accept your scars and pose topless of photographs when you wouldn't show your husband a year ago. So you've got that to look forward to.